I think the thing that we see over the decades with UFOs and UAP and flying saucers, the original term for them, is this sense that not just that we're not alone, this prospect that maybe the human species is not the only intelligent form of life out there in the universe, and that there might be not only other civilizations out there, but other civilizations that are interested in meeting us, which is exciting in and of itself. I'm Greg Eghigian. I'm professor of history and bioethics at Penn State University. I have written a book recently, just published in 2024, on the global history of the UFO phenomenon. Conducted research in archives in multiple countries throughout the world, and read a great deal about the extensive literature about UFOs that has been really circulating throughout the world since 1947 and the first appearance of flying saucers. We have some video footage and I think some photographic images. And then what we have is a lot of documentation involving multiple agencies, the FBI, the Air Force. These are documents and images that go back all the way to 1947 and go up to, I think, at least the 2000 teens. I don't know how far up to present day we get to. And what they give us a glimpse at are some insights into what were reported by civilians, but also reported by members of the military, and how these different agencies sort of received this information. Some of these images, for instance, and film that we have to look at comes without any context, so we don't even know quite what we're looking at or what we're expected to be sort of surmising on the basis of this. So some of that has to be filled in for us. But I would say right now, no, we do not see anything terribly surprising. But again, people are still digging. I'm still looking into it. I think a lot of what we see in there, to be honest with you, is going to be of interest mostly to historians of UFOs and ufology. We might see some things in there that resonate with other kinds of sightings. I myself have looked into some of the files involving the FBI. The FBI got a lot of people writing them about UFOs dating back to, I think, at least the 1950s, if not earlier. And what's kind of intriguing is the FBI's mantra was always, we don't work in this area. We don't do this kind of thing. We don't investigate this. But that didn't stop ordinary citizens from contacting them and saying, well, I think this is interesting. Or, I looked at one, for instance, one letter from the mid-1960s of a police chief who sat there and said, look, I'm not one of these, crazy people. I'm just telling you, I've seen one before, and I think this is something that should be of interest to the FBI. I think it's fair to say, if you look at the history of this disclosure of government information about UFOs and now UAP, going back to the late 1940s, people have always been disappointed with what the government has said and what the government has shown. And there's some reasons to those, to that kind of disappointment. Part of it is in the modern age, governments are always going to have secrets and have classified information. And there's only so much they're going to reveal to the general public. They won't even reveal a lot of that information to people in Congress. They won't even reveal some of that information to the President of the United States. So there will always be these secrets and these things that are classified that they're going to be reluctant to reveal in any way, shape, or form to the general public. Part of it is also the nature of the way this kind of secrecy, national security, and claims of transparency and demands of transparency sort of operate. I think most people who are really excited about it are excited about looking at images. Photographs and film are kind of the gold standard, if you will. Again, without context for some of these things, then it's a little difficult to figure out what we're supposed to make of it all. For me, the historian, I'm always interested in the general public. I'm interested in the grassroots. I'm familiar with, the intelligence communities, investigations or sometimes lack of investigation into cases and the reasons why. What I always find more interesting is to see ordinary people getting in touch with either elected officials or law enforcement or whoever they think might be willing to listen to them. I think one of the big things has always been that the prospect of these of alien civilizations with the capabilities of flying these huge distances and coming here would indicate that they have enormous scientific and technological capabilities. And what that does is that raises all sorts of prospects for us. It makes us start to ask questions about our future. Are we ourselves capable of those kinds of things? Can we sort of reach the kind of pinnacle that we see in things like Star Trek, for instance? Are we capable of that? Or will we in some ways be really beholden to, if not enslaved to, our science and technology? Will it be our undoing in the end?